Welcome to Golf and the Good Life, your guide to golf travel across the pond. I'm DJ Jones, he is Connor Evers, and today we are returning to our Legendary Links series for a conversation with Bill Donald, General Manager at Royal County Down Golf Club. Bill joined us to share his insight on RCD, what it's like to lead one of the great clubs of the world, and what visitors should know for planning and enjoying their upcoming experience. So without further ado, enjoy our conversation with Bill Donald. Well, Bill, first and foremost, we're honored to have you with us this time of year. As the season kind of inches closer and closer, your time becomes more and more valuable than it already is. So we're thrilled to have you with us and appreciate you investing some of that time with us.
Yes, no, it's a pleasure. Thanks, guys, for getting me on your show and on your podcast.
So this is typically where, we would ask, tell us about yourself. Give us the whole background rundown. I'd like to come at it, though, from maybe a little bit different angle, because you find yourself leading one of the world's preeminent clubs, top 10 course in the world, and you've spent most of your career around great clubs and great people. And I'm curious, what experiences along the way have helped prepare you for leading a place like Royal County Down?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that experiencing the clubs I've had, what it's done, it's helped me take a step back and actually enjoy and appreciate the nuances of Royal County Down. It is a unique club. Every club is different and has its own culture and ethos. And I think that would I've appreciated the history of the ethos of the club 15 years ago, I don't think I would have done. And it means that you're observing and you're listening. So I've never been an advocate of going in and change management for a period of time, quite a long period of time. Definitely observation and listening, I think, is a sign of a good manager that maybe is confident within themselves. And you don't need to change for the sake of it. So you see things happening in front of you and you make judgment calls and you form opinions. But they can change. Do you form an opinion, you don't need to jump. Maybe you need to find out. Maybe you need to cross-reference yourself. Maybe that particular example that you've seen is for a reason and you didn't realize why. And then you come to understand the club. And I think that my background in golf clubs has allowed me to appreciate Royal County Down instead of, sinking, overtly worrying, actually appreciating the opportunity, which I'm very grateful of. And I think that that is what, hopefully, for me personally, brought the Royal County Down and Royal County Down brought to me.
In that process, because you're still somewhat new in the role, has anything surprised you about RCD and in that transition?
Yeah, the golf course maintenance, it's fascinating. I have been at clubs that have spent a fortune on maintaining the golf course. Fungicides, pesticides, sand in particular. Lochlowan Golf Club spent up to 7 million returfing, sand capping, which was a great job and was needed. But here, it's back to nature. So only 17% out of 320 acres of the golf course is intensely managed.
Wow.
And that is incredible. The rest remains, it's natural state. There's a no fungicide policy. I've never seen anything like that before. I'm hugely interested in the agronomy and the golf course and how it connects. Because again, like a club, every golf course is different. A different environment, different greenkeeping skills. And I have to pay tribute. Eamon Crawford has been here 50 years. Started as a 15-year-old. If he's ever asked to speak or he was recipient of a 50-year commemoration here, he would start by announcing how many secretary managers he's gone through in his time, the Royal County Down. Because, of course, as we all know, I have a huge respect for him, actually. But, that you could write novels on relationships between general managers, secretary managers, and golf course managers is the biggest spend. But at the same time, is there always an understanding of what goes on a golf course? And most managers, if they're honest, would say that, they have to be led at times, but also it has to be value for what you do. Well, the Royal County Down, this guy, it's incredible. And the team as well, around them. I mean, that is an incredible stat. 17% managed. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. And thanks for sharing that, Bill. It's something I didn't know, especially being there for the kind of first time playing the championship links when I visited you back in October. And it's pretty unique where, you're kind of thinking of that, and you think of when you're actually golfing, and you feel like you are through nature, and you're seeing in the Mourne Mountains in the background and what have you. So there is some like similarities between, having the course being, natural, like you mentioned there, which is pretty unique.
Yeah, and I think, all credit to the team and the people involved over the years. I think they've got to be very proud of that. We should shout about that more.
Yeah. So as DJ was mentioning, we're here in 2026, and the upcoming traveling season for visitors is upon us. First groups kind of leave in kind of the middle part of April, but I was look forward to the 2026 season, and I guess beyond. What feels most important right now for RCD?
Yes, we're under, Connor, a spend and redeveloping in particular the Murdoch Lounge, which the visitors access, the Pro Shop as well. We are spending fairly high on that area in appreciation for, of course, presenting Royal County Down in a professional manner. That's great because capital expenditure is very important. They want to be taken seriously. That is, as you mentioned, top club. That we want to make sure that people are coming in the facilities are as you would expect. So I think it's hugely exciting, actually. And I don't want to give too much away, but it'll be really huge advancement, but also within the ethos of the club. So it's not, you'd expect club that's been here, Royal County Down from 1889. You want to retain that sort of cultural iconic status, and I think this does. Also, we have a program of continuous improvement. So therefore, how do you implement continuous improvement? Well, you ask and you listen, and that is from guests to members to the staff. The person that's out on the warm-up area, then they're going to know things that you're not. So you've got to have feedback, and you've got to allow an opportunity and an environment where people feel as if they can give feedback on a positive basis, whether it's good or bad, but they can do it, and there's not going to be any recompense for it. And I think this continuous improvement is what we talk about. So we're looking at, there'll be concierge on the gates, which is quite a nice thing on arrival. And we're looking at inscribing, personalizing gifts. And that's definitely a 2027 objective. But hopefully in 2026, we'll be able to bring that in so we can personalize people's journeys. Also, capturing information. So, for example, 2 days ago, a chap from Canada contacted me, and he said, I would really like to get a tee time at Royal County Down. How do I do it? I've been 50 years, so another guy, 50 years in the golf industry in Canada, a particular club. And the club, in recognition, is bringing me to Ireland to play golf. Now, how could you refuse somebody like that? So capturing all that information is very, very important. This is something that is all involved in the continuous improvement. It's all about communication and information. And we need to encourage tour operators, you guys, if there's something special, then how can you let us know if someone's celebrating something? Let us know and we'll do something about it.
Yeah, Bill, I appreciate all that. And when you said continuous improvement, I mean, DJ and I talk about that all the time. How can we get a little bit better, 1% better every day, just to improve, our process and at the end of the day, how, our, members, when they travel across the pond, how they experience things overseas. And I was impressed with you. I mean, we had dinner in town in Newcastle the night before we played, and you were just asking all of us, how can RCD be better? How can the experience be better? What are some other clubs, or what are some of your, your clients, asking, and how can we improve? And I think a lot of those things you mentioned are just get better. So yeah, I appreciate the insight there too.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, Connor. I do ask that question a lot, and a couple of things from a tour operator conference get together. I asked that question to maybe 2025 tour ops, and one give me the example of a club that brings their artifacts or historical trophies or artifacts and describes what they are and what it means. Another club brings the caddies to the warm-up area, and so they get to know the standard one of the golfer, and they get that connection as well. So these are things that are always very interesting to me. I'm not saying that we can implement all that overnight, but if we want to continually improve, we need to benchmark and we need to see where we're at as a club.
Sure. Yeah. I guess one other kind of follow up there. I mean, you're talking about, folks contacting you from all throughout the world, and obviously numerous tour operators and folks, wanting to play County Down. But I guess how do you balance, the global demand for everyone wanting tee times to kind of the day-to-day operations with, you have obviously some local members, and along with, just visitors alike coming from all across the world to visit you and your club and facilities?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a balance. Look, we don't have enough tee times. The demand outstrips supply significantly. But they're on campus. We call it campus. There are 3 clubs, 2 golf courses as well. So, we have the Mourne Golf Club, for example, which has been here since I think it's 1946. It's certainly around that time. That's for locals to be able to access the championship course and Ansley. And we're very proud of that fact, that we make sure that there's a local connection to the club, and we're not, we don't move into we're in the international stratosphere, I guess. Think international, act local is not sort of a saying that they have. And, so we do make sure there are tee times available. Now, it's a small membership, so therefore they have their days, which is a Wednesday and Saturday, Royal County Down members. And that's when, they enjoy visitor-free golf, if you like. But they're very, very accepting and very appreciative of the visitors that come to the club. But they have their 2 days, and it's a perfect model. It's a perfect model. So therefore, then we have the tee times, which are 13-minute intervals. So plenty of time. I'm not going to scrimp on that. I want people to enjoy it. I'm going to push you out there. I think we've all had experiences of that, like a battery hen type scenario. And we want you to enjoy it. We don't need to do that. So why do it? And make sure there's plenty of time between tee times. So members get their times. They're happy with how it works. And visitors, we allot as many times as we can. And we've got the Mourne Golf Club as well as the local scenario. So the setup works well.
So, all of that is music to my ears in terms of, like, kind of to echo what he said on the continuous improvement. I think I've read the book Unreasonable Hospitality 3 different times. I'm sure it's probably been recommended to you already, but it's so great to hear that coming from you because, again, one of the top clubs in the world, it would be just so easy to sit back and just kind of let that be what it is, and let the name be what carries you, and to hear of all of that investment that you're making, both in terms of, physical infrastructure and people infrastructure is huge for people, at least on our side of the business.
I think there's a key distinction between service and hospitality. So service is point A to B, be efficient and effective, but hospitality is warm, fuzzy, and welcoming, and an extra level percentage that you want to make sure that the visitor feels as if it's not a case of get through the door, get onto the course, and bye-bye, thank you very much for your custom, and just little extra, oh, you're from this golf club, I've been there, or I've always wanted to go, and can you tell me a bit about it, or I know so-and-so who's a member there. Just that little bit extra, take that little bit of time and have a little bit extra with the guest that's coming through makes all the difference in the world.
Doubt about it. Well, you mentioned demand far outstrips supply in terms of tee times. Here we are around the corner. Your tee sheet for 2027 is going to be opening in a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
A lot of folks listening are kind of sitting on the edge of their chair waiting for that moment to press send on the email or pick up the phone or whatever it might be. I'm curious, what do you wish more visiting golfers understood better about planning a visit to RCD, whether it's the timing or the expectations or just approaching the experience as a whole?
I understand the timeline and the trains opening, and it is a bit of a scramble. I understand that, but look at it like an event. So say Taylor Swift or Oasis, are coming to town, but it's next year. And if you've got a Royal County Down, think of it as an event, and you've got to try and book early. I know some people with their busy lives want to leave it late, but you run the risk of, too many Swifties getting in ahead of you, and you're not going to see your pop star that you want to see who's coming to Boston for the big gig. You've got to look at Royal County Down. It is an experience. It is hopefully not a one-off experience, but you've got to look at it like that. It's a unique place. And to get a tee time is much sought after, but it's not impossible. So if you're well organized and you're ready for the get-go, and there are ways to contact the club as well through the website. The website's been redeveloped, but there are ways to contact the club through the website. So seek out, the website information, contact the club. We'll see what we can do. I know we get thousands of requests. I understand that, but we do try and work through them all. I think we will definitely be more efficient with better systems in place. But think of it as those events I've just mentioned or others that, whether American football or, whatever, it's an event.
It's a perfect analogy. As someone who went to the Eras Tour twice, I can attest to that. However, I did oversleep for Oasis by about 10 minutes because it was like 4 a.m. my time, and I was like 400,000th in line and came away empty-handed.
Yeah.
Goes back to the planning. I wasn't prepared, and I paid the price for it. But, you talked a lot about how you're refining the experience for those visitors to come. I would love to hear about the X's and O's, as we would say in American football, of how do you navigate thousands of inquiries coming in the span of hours, for a place like RCD?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, go Patriots. Important. Secondly, I've just lost some bookings, haven't I, with that Connor?
Might have picked up a few, though, as well.
Yeah. So. Look, so, yeah, we do extra hours and extra time to clear the backlog, which builds up very quickly. It does, unfortunately, take time, but I've got a skilled team who are very good, and we all get involved. So we all get involved in trying to get through the inquiries. And, I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's for the club to decide whether this is a good idea or not. But I would really like to have a Friends of Royal County Down. And so I'm giving out something that's a personal opinion, and to create a database of people who have a genuine interest in Royal County Down. And then we can deal with that as we, I guess, so wish, with information or whatever comes available. And I think that'd be quite cool, but that's a club decision to make. We somehow have to try and segment it to an extent, or it's just going to be the same blast. And then we have people from all around the world getting hugely frustrated. We need to try and make it a positive experience. In my early career, I spent some time being trained with a company called First Leisure, and it was nightclubs, bars, entertainment, sports venues. And I just left university, so it was really my first proper job. And I clearly remember this training of when you're serving somebody in a nightclub, and you're behind the bar and it's 3 or 4 deep, you'd have to maintain eye contact with any of those people around the bar so that you know that you and they know you've seen them, and therefore they get less anxious. So you know to maintain eye contact. Because it's part of the experience of coming to, say, a nightclub. You need to make sure the welcome on arrival, the music, the tempo, the atmosphere, and the security is all on point. And part of the reason is, of course, that makes for a good time. But what happens if you fall out with your boyfriend, girlfriend, or pals, and you go into work on Monday morning and somebody says to you, how did you find Paradise Lost on Saturday night? And their response is, if you've done a good job, the club was great, but I fell out with my boyfriend. However, if you don't do a good job, they say, the place is rubbish, you've had a terrible evening.
Yep.
And so therefore, if you're frustrated and how do we take away that frustration is a very difficult question to answer. So you don't hold it against the club purely down to the fact that the demand is so high. So we need to work on that because it's important. Those people that don't come here or who want to come here are as important as the people who do come. So that's one of the questions I think clubs like us need to answer.
Makes sense. And I guess to kind of go back into the experience of kind of what you were just mentioning there, Bill, I mean, for a lot of visitor golfers, might be their first time and only time to Royal County. Now, hopefully it's not their only, but it may be, they may have booked this, months and sometimes even over a year before their actual tee time. How would you suggest, seeing the visitor golfers on the day-to-day basis, how would you kind of, recommend them to kind of slow down, enjoy it, and kind of get the full RCD experience from the golf course and the kind of experience in the clubhouse as well?
Yeah, there's a great statement. Take time and smell the roses, which is a well-known statement. So when you arrive, it can be a blur. One day can go into another. So get here early. Go to the warm-up area. Take your time. Get to meet some of the staff. Go to the Murdoch Lounge. Have a drink. Have something to eat. Just wander around. Take a few pictures. Ask questions. And take it in. Because you'll want to recreate that back in your mind. When somebody says to you, you're at Royal County Down. Wow, how did it go? And you want to take them through the journey. Now, if you're arriving, and it may not be your fault, but if you're arriving, rushing onto the first tee box, who wants to do that? But it happens. You miss the arrival, the nuances of the club, maybe the history. You play it, you tick the box, you jump back into the bus and run off. Well, how did you get on Royal County Down? You'll probably recall some of the golf course because it's spectacular. But really, that's not the total experience. So please make time to come here, ask as many questions, talk to the staff. They're only too pleased to chat. That good old Irish sort of, chat and humor. I mean, we love it. We want to hear about you. We want to hear about where you've come from, why you're here, and what your experience is. That will add so much more value to your visit to Royal County Down because it's just not about the golf course on isolation. The people here make Royal County Down as well. And I think that's my advice. It's an event. You don't turn up, if I go back to Oasis, for example, you don't turn up when the first song's belted out and you arrive. You want to be there at least half an hour, 45 minutes before they're on stage to take it all in. So that's my advice.
Love it. That's great advice. I appreciate that. And I guess you kind of mentioned the course there, and yes, it is spectacular. We haven't even talked about the course itself on this, which has been awesome in itself. But I guess talk about maybe your favorite holes in the golf course, maybe favorite shots you've seen, or maybe you've hit before, and or just moments around the course or on the links. Because when we're talking with folks from across the pond, they're employed at some of the best clubs, in GB and I, and it's even just great to not even play golf, just to walk around the links because of that. But I guess kind of talk about just your favorite parts of the course.
I mean, it is my favorite golf course in the world. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but the story goes, there's the picture above my head is the fourth, which is a spectacular par three. Now, prior to me coming to Royal County Down, I was at Cathedral Lodge, north of Melbourne. And so after my time at Loch Lomond, out to Australia, it was just a different venture. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And those folks are absolutely great. And I wish them the best. It's a super private club. But I've had that in the office, the fourth at Royal County Down. And ironically, then I got offered a job, which was knocked out for me, but sad to leave Australia. So therefore, the fourth par three is spectacular beyond spectacular. The view of the mountains of Mourne, links with mountains, sort of almost attached, and your visual of where you're hitting a ball, you're hitting it into the mountain with a sea in the left. Wow, it's just mind-blowing. Never mind the ninth, which is probably one of the most photographed. You get up to the top and then you can see Newcastle, the clubhouse, the mountains of Mourne, also enclosed. It's not miles away. It's, you can get there pretty quickly. It's absolutely one of the two iconic golf holes in the world of golf. But for me, I'll talk about Rory in a second, by the way, but for me, the 16th is a bit of a standout for me personally, because I played with the ex-European number one, Ronan Rafferty, and Ronan, around about 89, was number one in Europe. Great storyteller, some super stories about playing in the Ryder Cup, which I'll tell you what, because, you want to hear a few stories. So Ronan, because I asked the question, it's a very famous shot. So Christian Collier Jr. was playing Freddie Couples at the Belfry. And I went down the 18th, and Freddie striked the drive and was playing an 8-iron for a second. And Christian Collier was playing a 2-iron for his second. Now, not the 2 irons we know today, so it's 50, 89. Roland was there with the group, and this match was key. And he said Tony Jacklin motivated Christy O'Connor Jr. while Christy was looking at the shot and trying to visualize it. And he leaned just one step forward and he said, Christy, do it for Ireland. Took one step back. And whatever it did to Christy, he got one of the greatest shots in Ryder Cup history. And actually, poor Freddie, he was brilliant and everybody loves Freddie Couples. He stepped it into the bunker in the left and conceded the whole, I don't think he got out of the bunker, or maybe he did, but anyway. So it's one of those iconic shots. So Ronan has lots of great stories like that. And we played a match against a couple of members. This is very unusual for me, but I had a great 7 second and held the putt for a birdie on the 16th, and we had Dormy 2 up. So that 16th, which kind of shapes away a bit to the right, but when every time Stan play the 16th, that comes back to me as a great memory. So pretty difficult green, actually. But you know something? 18th, a great finisher, real tough par 5. Tom Brady birdied it, by the way. So when he came off the 18th, he was really happy. It was a good birdie by him. The whole course, it's the whole experience. It's literally unbelievable. I'm choosing a few. I could really choose 18, but I'm just choosing a few to answer your question.
A good problem to have. You mentioned a Rory story. We can't let you go without asking what that was going to be.
Yeah, but Rory's a big fan of Royal County Down, and I'm sure he'll not mind me mentioning that. And he was on, I don't know what podcast it was, because he's doing a few more podcasts, but it was a very naughty question and answer of which golf course did he prefer.
Yep.
And you may have seen it, yeah. And I think they gone viral. And Royal County Down's come out pretty well. And I know that Rory, there's a big connection here, and a long-standing connection going back a long time with the family. And he genuinely wears his heart in his sleeve, as we know. My God, he's one of the greatest ever golfers, ever. So his view on Royal County Down is that it just is a real test of golf. You've got to really think your way around it. But he appreciates the nuances as well, and there's no finer guy to do that than him, having played where he and achieved what he's achieved. So that was a huge sort of, I guess, pat in the back for Royal County Down. But I know Rory means it, and so therefore I would say, he's best placed to maybe talk more about what golf holes he likes at Royal County Down. He's mentioned a few, but I know that anybody that's going to come to Royal County Down, you're going to enjoy it because it is the whole golf course. And, remember what I said at the start of the show, 17% is managed. So you're playing, an 83% natural reserve. That's incredible.
It really is. And I know we could spend another 43 minutes or so talking about the course itself. But this being Golf in the Good Life, we have to talk a little about some of the off-course activities nearby. We always are saying that, when you're traveling across the pond, your time overseas is just as valuable on the course as it is off of it. So a lot of times folks are staying, 200 paces from your front door at the Sleeve Donard. But if they're in town for a few days, what are your favorite pubs or restaurants or other spots that you might send a friend who was visiting Newcastle?
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and it's just the thing about golf and UK and Ireland in particular. It is about the golf course experience. I mean, that is hugely important. And Newcastle, I could not believe when I returned to Northern Ireland how developed it had become. All of a sudden, facilities and restaurants had cropped up. So I would recommend Brunel's pretty heavily. It's a fantastic restaurant. Also, the La Vinci, which is an Italian, which gets a really good, and it is excellent, good atmosphere. If you want something a bit more cheap and cheerful, but it's excellent quality. The Harbour is also a place that's pretty spectacular, and you've got your authenticity of the pub. So they're particular favourites of mine. Buck's Head and Dundrum, which is only 10 minutes away, very high quality as well. And Dundrum just being voted number one. It's either a place, I think it is place to live in Northern Ireland. Some super stuff there, actually. Nice pubs as well. So I would highly recommend Dundrum. The Winter Bar was reopened after there was a fire maybe three years ago. And it's now reopened only recently, and that is very historic. And if you talk to a lot of the staff, they'll tell you that they started at the Hinker was where they met people and where it all happened. So that has just reopened, and fair play to them. It looks absolutely terrific. And then you've got Quinn's, which can be a bit mad, but it's that sort of authentic Irish sort of feel to it, and great atmosphere always. So there's loads. There's way more as well, in Newcastle. So you can have a really good time with it. And they would say, have a couple of days. I mean, we've got the Ansley course as well, which, believe it or not, is a terrific complement to the championship course. And yes, it's the yardage, 5,000, 6,000 all the yards, but it's a great test of golf on the same land, the championship. So, please remember we have that. Well, if you want to extend your stay.
One quick thing to add on the good life aspect, because it ties into a point you made earlier. My first visit to RCD was, 8 or 9 years ago. And I was staying at an Airbnb in town. And the host who had the Airbnb, he meets me to give me the key and so forth. And I told him what I was doing, and off we go. Well, I get a text on the app about 7 o'clock the day I played RCD from the host. The gentleman says, Daniel, I know you played Royal County Down today. I'd love to buy you some ice cream if you're if you are up for it. And I thought, okay, I mean, I'm never going to turn down, some ice cream. I go up and I meet him at New Gelato. Well, come to find out, his name is Michael Nugent, and he owns the joint. And I thought, it would have been easy to think, well, he just wants to share his ice cream place. Maybe I'll tell it to our travelers or whatever it might be. No, he just wanted to hear about the day at Royal County Down. And it ties back to, you mentioned the people. No matter how great the course is, how great the club is, what have you, it always comes down to the people. And those off-course experiences seem to be where you find them the most.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Michael and played golf with him. We were, believe it or not, 5 down after 5. And then won the next 4. We missed it's about a 6-foot putt to win the next 5. And of course, we missed. And the boys got over the line 3-2 or something like that. So fair play. But he's a hell of a nice guy. And you're right about the people. I keep thinking about, because I did spend some time in Glasgow, the best strap line ever for a city, and that is people make Glasgow. So that was their strap line. And that's the way I think I would look at Newcastle and RCD as well. People make Newcastle. They're a fantastic bunch of people, and they really care. They want you to do well.
You're definitely right. I mean, our travelers, when they go over, when they come back, they're remembering the people in the pubs, the staff at the clubs, their driver host, their caddies. And it's the people that you meet along the way. I mean, that can just be travel in of itself, not so much a golf expedition across the pond, but it's just the people that you meet that make the experiences what they are. And I think that encompasses everything with Newcastle, Royal County Down. And again, we appreciate kind of sharing your insights and just the continuous improvement. I mean, it's just refreshing to hear. But yeah, Bill, we really appreciate your time, and thanks so much for taking it, and looking forward to the kind of feedback from our listeners on this. I'm sure they're going to thoroughly enjoy it. So we appreciate it.
Well, boys, it's been very good to us. So we appreciate it very much. And anybody has any questions or anything like that, you can go through. The website is being relaunched, but please reach out. Happy to try and help people if we can. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the chat, gentlemen. I will see you, I hope, very, very soon.
Yes.
Absolutely. Cheers, Bill.
Cheers.
And a special thanks once again to Bill for joining us today. As usual, we will link to some information in the show notes, additional guides on Royal County Down and what have you. If you have any questions, like Bill said, you can send them to them directly or send us an email, golf@haversham.com. You can DM us on social media or visit haversham.com/podcast and use the record a message there to send us your question. We would love to feature it on an upcoming episode. We will be back again soon with another episode, but until then, we wish you plenty of golf at its finest and life at its best.